right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and the best time to come to a Wine Watch event is when it's a winery you've never heard of, because you know what? We only had like 8 people here, and the Ellmans brought 2 bottles of each of their wines, so man, what a great time. And these guys are making some outstanding wines. They've done their research, you know, when they got in the business or they fell in love with Napa, they went up there and they started spending some time and, you know, met the right people, got invested in this crush pad facility because they want to be able to control some aspect of the production there. Well, production facility, very important, and then got to meet a great winemaker. That's one of the most important things in making great wines. Kian Tabacol, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he was born and bred in Napa Valley and knows a lot of these growers, which is very important. And I went to UC Davis, which we're not going to fault him for that, but these wines are not only politically correct, but they are speak volumes of the place where they're from, especially the Pinot Noirs, which unfortunately it looks like they're not going to be making after 2013 vintage. Very hard to secure top quality fruit. Their relationships in Napa are much stronger, so they feel like we're just going to focus on Cabernet blends from Napa Valley. And like I said, man, these Pinots are really good. The Amanda, which the fruit comes from the Copain vineyard here for this wine. It's top-class vineyard in the Russian River Valley. It's got that typical Russian River cola and red cherry note to it, and some nice floral highlights, a hint of smoke. This wine really opening up and better on the second day. And I had this 6-8 months ago and reviewed it, and just reviewed it as very good, but this wine has gotten better in the bottle. Lovely, silky smooth tannins here, and nice freshness. This 2011 vintage, a cooler year, so lovely balanced wines here. This is an excellent bottle of Pinot. At around 50 bucks, you know, Pinot Noir, you got to pay a little more for it to get a high-quality product. Usually don't find too many things $20 to $30 that are this quality. The Alexis Sky from the Sonoma Coast is the second Pinot that they produce. The grapes from this come from the Gap's Crown Vineyard in the Sonoma Coast AVA in the Petaluma Gap. This one's got a little darker fruit. It's a little richer, a little brighter acidity here. Black raspberry fruit, pretty floral notes, some exotic spice. Lovely concentration for a cool vintage. This one's got a lot of fruits and fresh and lively on the tongue. Lots of that black raspberry coulis fruit, silky velvety tannins, and a host of exotic spice. Nice length on the finish here. I like this wine just a little bit better, a little bit richer, and a little longer on the finish. And then the Brothers Blend 2010 and the 2010 Gemma wines. These wines, 2010, an outstanding vintage. Cooler year and not quite as cold as 2011, but these wines need some time, you know. Even better on the second day, both of them, after they've been opened, sitting in my glass on my desk here. These wines were just gorgeous. The blend here came about in the Brothers Blend because they bought a little bit more Merlot than they actually needed in 2010. So they created this blend of 60% Merlot, 40% 60% Cab, 40% Merlot. The Merlot coming from Lake Cynthia Vineyard, and the Cab coming from Broken Rock and Beckstoffer George's the third vineyard in Rutherford. This wine's got a lot of dark currant and dark cherry fruit with some of that Rutherford dust in there. A good hand of toasty oak spice. Big and chewy on the tongue with a firm hand of acidity and layers of that spice and minerality showing. Lots of everything, just needs a little bit of time. Excellent juice here. The Gemma, wow, this wine even better, and 5% Merlot, the rest Cabernet Sauvignon, all from Beckstoffer George's III. This wine showing some real pedigree here from the vineyard it comes from. A good amount of dark currant cassis berry fruit. Really packs a little bit of heat here, but that spice and the dark bitter cocoa on the finish really showing through. An excellent balance in this wine with the acidity also. So even though it's got a lot of that spice and a little bit high in the alcohol, it's got a lot of everything else. And these wines are not 15, 16% alcohol, but California, you've got to be 14.5 or something like that in a right vintage. And these wines wear it well though. Outstanding. Even better on the second day. Most excellent juice, the 2010 Gemma. And then a couple of older vintage wines, the 2008 and 2007. And all the fruit for these guys' wine is purchased. I know I mentioned that, but hardest thing to do is to make a great wine from purchased fruit every year. So they have got consistent vineyard sources and the same winemaker from day one. So you notice some continuity here with the 08 and even the 07. The only difference between the 08 and 07 is they added a little Malbec in 07, and it was a little challenging for them. For some reason, the fermentation was a little stuck, and the Merlot they thought they needed to add to for some color here also, but it may have been bit premature because this 2007 showing really nice. A little bit of evolution here, more pronounced earthiness to the bouquet, dried floral notes, cigar box spice. Still has a lot of nice dark cherry and currant berry fruit, smooth and polished on the tongue. This wine's got a solid core of fruit still and lovely balance and freshness. This wine could go another decade in your cellar, but starting to show nicely. And then the 2008, a little chunkier, a little juicier. This wine had a nice amount of currants and dark milk chocolate, dark cherry, tobacco spice. Like I said, just a little richer and fuller in the mid palate on the mouth, this 2008. And this one's got the structure to last another decade also in your cellar. But drinking nicely right now as the 2007 is, just a little fruitier. All right, that's what we had to drink at the Ellman Brothers. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.